What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ace Metaphor, and I got Instagram Live on deck. We got to tackle some topics today, so I'm gonna be taking you guys' questions. YouTube, obviously, if you're watching below, comment your questions in the live stream, and I will get to you guys. I already got a few questions on Instagram, so I think we'll get it popping the long way. All right. Um, Somebody said, if a man says he doesn't trust women, there is no getting past that. Is there? It's such a barrier. Listen, let me tell you something. The foundation of every relationship is trust. If you do not have trust, you really can't have a healthy, functional relationship, because there's going to be periods in your time in your relationship where you have to be able to trust and have the confidence in your partner, because you can't do everything. When there's no trust in the relationship, you feel like you got to carry the whole load yourself. Trust ain't just how he is or how she is with the opposite sex. Trust is, can you trust this person to have their portion of the bills this month? Can you trust this person to wake up and grind and make sure they are able to get the bacon for the family and or keep the house straight? Can you trust this person when you are incapable of taking care of yourself because you are sick? Maybe you get old. Maybe you are disabled, and you can trust that this person is going to take care of you. Trust extends far beyond this, whether someone is lying to you about the opposite sex. And we have such a small, narrow-minded view of trust. If you do not have trust inside your relationship, what do you have? Huh? I want to trust when I get old and I can't wipe for myself that you're going to wipe me. And I know everybody think that's a joke, but I'm for real. I want to trust that if I'm incapable of moving, you're going to wheel my wheelchair around. I want to trust that deep. And it goes well past, can I trust you handling the opposite sex? That's a given. Hopefully, in our relationship, we have a point where we have enough respect for each other that we don't embarrass each other in public, sneaking around, willing and dealing dick on the side. And I hope your man has enough respect for that. But when it comes to trust, man, in order to have a foundation of a relationship, we got to be able to trust each other so deeply. All right, especially when we're talking about marriage. So no, if you do not have trust, you cannot trust this person can carry their own weight. If you cannot trust that this person can lead in moments inside this relationship where you may be physically or mentally unable, if you can't trust this person to be there day in and day out when you guys have children, I do not want to be raising children myself. You don't want to be raising children yourself. Can you trust this person has enough intestinal fortitude as a man to be there for his children, even if this relationship doesn't work out? Can I trust in you as a woman that you won't keep my kids around away from me if we break up? I need to trust well beyond whether I can trust you with another man or woman. We have to widen our view of what trust means. Because if you can't trust how this person acts in these small trivial things, how can you trust this person to take care of you if you get old and sick? All right. So without trust, you don't have much. If you cannot trust in a relationship, that's a relationship you shouldn't be in. And let me tell you something. Sometimes trust issues isn't that person is untrustworthy. Sometimes we are incapable of trusting. Sometimes we got some insecurities inside ourselves that won't allow us to trust the way we need to trust. We don't give trust so people can earn more of it. And those are topics we would handle at another time and day. But I'm telling you, trust is so important to a relationship. All right. Let's get these questions going. I see y'all. Let me put my glasses back on. Let me put my glasses. If you watching on YouTube, ladies, make sure you put your comments below, okay? Somebody said, great show in New York. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. All right? I appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, somebody said he says we are together, but he is trying to move in with his baby mom to help with the kids. Should I trust it? Let me read that one more time, because maybe I'm tripping. He says we are together, but he is trying to move in with his baby mother to help with the kids. Should I trust it? Y'all letting that fly? Y'all letting that type of you letting that fly? Is the I mean, that doesn't seem like responsible co-parenting between two people who've ready to move forward with their life. Like I said, I always agree that together household, a household with both the man and a woman is together. Raising the children is a really great household, but they not together. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you really look deep in this causes a lot of confusion for the children. I don't even know if this is actually helping the children. It would cause confusion. Is mommy and daddy back together? No, they not back. This don't make sense to me. There's a whole bunch of red flag. Where's the red flag button? This is a red flag button. In no universe does that make sense. And if a man is willing to do that, then maybe he should take a break from dating. Okay, maybe even if this man has the purest intentions, he would realize that this is not a healthy foundation to try to be dating outside of this household, because there is history there with that woman. You guys share children. You're going to be in the same household living. And it just doesn't seem like this is conducive for you to be dating another woman outside of that. All right. And it just seems to me that maybe this man is not in a financial position to where he can take care of his kids, without having to be living with their baby mama. So I would say that's a red flag for me. But y'all do what y'all want to do. It's a no from me. It's a no from me. Okay. That's major red flags right there. Let's see. Somebody said, okay, let me see. I have this question in one of my card games too. So I want to, where is it at? Somebody asked, should a couple stay in a relationship for the kids knowing it's over? I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of people make choices for the children, and you reason to yourself that, we can suffer through this relationship and go through the motions because our kids need us to present a united front, and we want to be able to show our kids an example of a healthy relationship. But here's the thing, your relationship is not healthy. There's no passion, there's no love from a romantic sense, and a lot of times it's toxicity. And as much as we think we are doing a good job keeping that away from our children, oftentimes they see it. They see that mommy is not happy and daddy doesn't want to be here. And what they do is they start to learn that love means tolerating unhappy circumstances. Love means toughing it out even though you're not fulfilled and that is draining you. They hear mommy crying in the next room over, and you think that they don't hear you, but they do. They hear how daddy talks about mommy, and they equate that normalization of dysfunction as something that they should strive for in their relationships. Now you become the example for them as to why they should tough through an abusive relationship when they get older, why they should tough through a lifeless, sexless, unhappy relationship just for the children, and you start that cycle. I know for the most part, we all want to raise children with the people we had children with, but ultimately, what example are you setting for that kid if you are in an unhappy, unloving relationship only for them to see that example and repeat that same that same course of lifestyle when they get in a relationship that's unfulfilling? So I understand the need. And as a person without children, I couldn't relate fully. I'm trying my best to be empathetic, but I or sympathetic. I can't put myself in your shoes because I'm not there. But you got to ask yourself, is this really what's best for the child? Is it? You know? All right. Somebody said that's not what Uncle KF said. He said it's about duty. Listen, shit, do what y'all want to do. If you guys want to have a duty to each other to stay in this household for the child, even though the relationship is dysfunctional and toxic, then go ahead and do it. I know King Kevin got a lot of opinions, and And that's probably why it's so polarizing and so popular. But I just don't think that um, that is, I think the duties, it's funny how we pick and choose what's duties. Your duty should be to give your partner quality time on a fairly regular basis. Your duty should be to give your partner regular sex on a regular basis. Your duty should be making sure you making necessary sacrifices that's on a reciprocal level as your partner. Your duty should be making sure you guys are carving out time for each other to communicate effectively, not to take things personally, but to always be in the mood of healing. Your duty is to make sure you go have checkups with a therapist every quarter to make sure you and your partner is on the same page. Your duty is to keep things spiced up. Your duty is to continue to date. Your duty is to make sure that that partner is secure and safe inside that relationship. I know King Kevin say a lot, and I ain't watched all his videos, but you can't talk about, well, you should stay in this relationship because the duty to the kids when you're not fulfilling the other duties that make someone wants to stay in a relationship with you. Here's the thing: people that don't want to put effort inside of relationships, they will always try to trap you and make it seem like you're abandoning something simply because they're failing to do and hold up to the part of the relationship in which they wanted or asked or are committed to. And so that's my thing. I mean, I'm not sitting up here telling you that King Kevin wrong. If he say if King Kevin say that women should stay in lifeless, loveless, abusive relationships because of the children, that's his opinion. But I'm just saying, I really feel like dudes should be loving, attentive, respectful, filled with integrity for their duty of the relationship too. It's normally when dominoes fall that people want to leave. So by the time you get to the point where you want to leave a man that you have children with, you have exhausted all other measures. I mean, ladies, be honest. If you had a child with a man and you were in a relationship with that man, you wanted that relationship to work. And it was only up until you realized that there was nothing you can do to change that man that you decided to leave. I mean, think about it. What mother wants to leave the father of their child? It's just not a natural thing to want to do unless he fucking up horribly. Okay? He fucking up horribly. Like, if you have a child by a woman, you actually got to fuck up horribly for her to be like, let me leave you. I mean, that at that point, you got home field advantage. All right. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not gonna burden people to stay in relationships just because of the children. I think you can have an active role in a child's life, even if you guys do not live together. Is it preferable? No, absolutely not. But is it better than pretending and lying to yourself and lying to your children about your relationship? I absolutely agree. Um, let's go ahead. I've been on here 13 minutes, boy. It seemed like more than 13 minutes. That means we've been covering topics. Somebody said, when separated for 3 months, a man has sex with someone else. Do you consider this cheating? I'm the wrong person to ask about that. When you mean separated, do you mean you guys are still married? I'm assuming if you're still married and you're separated, I guess you can technically call that cheating. If you want to be technical about it, but lots of people view separation as we're taking a time out from the relationship, and it's kind of hard for me to, in the intention behind it, call it cheating. We're not together right now. We're married, but we're not together. It's hard for me to call it cheating, in the intention behind it. However, by the book, it is. I mean, it's adultery. You're not divorced yet. And if you are a person that would be offended if a person did that, if you guys were separated, I feel like you have the right to feel that way, especially if there were ground rule laid. But I do think there's a difference between we ain't together, we separated, we living in two different places, and we've been separated by some months, and I get some ass. I don't really consider that the same as we on actively living in the same household, actively doing marital duties to each other. I think it's levels. And I know, ladies, y'all about to be mad at me. You about to be like, no, cheating is cheating. I feel like there's levels. Okay, there's levels. Okay, I just think there's levels. That's a lesser level, but it's still, I guess, technically adultery if you were married. Now, if you are in a relationship and you're not married and you guys take a break, I don't think it's cheating at all. I'm single until we decide to be together again. So I mean, that's my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know. What the fuck? I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a tough question. You mean tell me you separated from me and I'm supposed to not have sex until you decide you want to be back in a relationship with me? Now, I mean, that's unreasonable. If you separate from somebody and it's been longer than a week or two, you going on months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it is unreasonable to think that someone may not get some strange here and there. I'm not saying you want them to, but if I was married and I separated from my wife and I said I need time to think, it's gonna be a while. I don't know if we get. Normally separations lead to divorce. It's separation, divorce. You know what I'm saying? So once you separate, you leave the marital bed, you leave the marital home. It's kind of hard to expect someone to keep up with this. We owe each other our monogamy when we're not even currently having sex. And that begs the question, like, you know, if it's different, are you separating, you guys still meeting up for sex? Because it's like once you take that wifely and husbandly duty off the table, isn't that what the recipe is going to end? It's inevitable that's what's going to end that way. Right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here debating right or wrong. So for everybody on Instagram, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm not debating the morals of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm simply saying, you meaning to tell me you take sex off the marital table? This is something we're not in doing, and I don't even know if and when we'll ever do this again. Then 3 months later, your partner has sex with someone else, and you heard about it and acting like this was a betrayal. It's cause effect. You know what I'm saying? Like and then one would argue, well, he should love me enough to not, or he or she should love me enough that even though we're separated to understand. Well, y'all not acting like a married couple right now. You're not acting like a together couple. So it's like one feeds into another. That's why it's it's not a black and white answer in that. Because I've had friends who were married but separated for an extended period of time, and both they asses was single. They were separated in the process of divorce, and in their mind is like this relationship is over. So even though they were still technically married, both the woman and the man was living their own lives. And so it would be hard for me to call either one of them cheating on each other, because we're not entered in this marital arrangement. We're actively getting out of it. It's just going to take a little time for the divorce or things to be settled. So to each his own. Shit, I don't know. I ain't in the situation, so it's hard for me to say. Somebody said 3 months is not that long. That's 90 motherfucking days. What do you mean 3 months is not that long? Ladies, 90 days that's a long time. That's 90 days. You mean tell me 90 days of not having sex will have no effect on you? 90 days of not having intimate time with your partner outside of sex wouldn't have an effect on you. 90 days of we're not dating, 90 days of we're only talking mechanically about children and bills, 90 days of non-affection, 90 days of non-validation of whether or not you're committed to this relationship. You telling me that that's not that long? You telling me you expect someone when you lead a relationship to just wait 90 days pass, there's been no validation or signs that the relationship is rekindling, and you expect them to not try to move on with their motherfucking life? And that's what I'm saying. Just because you leave don't mean people's lives pause. That's why I tell people, before you separate, you got to understand what that means. You are discontinuing your wifely or husbandly duties to each other. You might You might do the communal shit. You know, you got children, so of course you're paying the bills. Of course you're talking about the children, but you're separating with divorce being a very real possibility. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I separate from you, I'm separating with the intention of divorcing you. Now, if some miraculous miracle happened where God changed your heart and mine and we decide to rekindle, cool. But nine times out of 10, I'm not leaving the marital house and the marital bed unless I am convicted about I'm about to get a divorce from you. See, some of y'all be using separation for the wrong thing. I'm just saying. Some of you guys use separation as a manipulation tactic. You separate from your man with hopes that he sees the severity of his actions, and you just playing. You ain't really thinking about a divorce. But I'm telling you, when you leave a marital bed, boy, I'm telling you, it's a big deal. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? We don't think separation is right before divorce. We don't think that. I mean, because that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. So you mean to tell me I don't have it ain't like you told me you were coming back in 40 days. You're separated indefinitely. So I don't even know if you're coming back. Even if you are coming back, I don't know when. And you want me to put my life on hold because you need time to figure out whether you're committed to this relationship or not. Nah. I'll be here if you come back. But in the meanwhile, I'm living my life. You can't act like I'm cheating on you. Like, you're not here. Now, if I was a woman, would I talk to a separated man? I think that's unwise. If I was a man, would I talk to a separated woman? I think it's unwise because there is still some entanglement that you can be in that web. Okay. Technically, they still married. Technically, if you're a biblical person, you know, they under God, they still married, and you might be on your conscience and you might get your feelings involved with a man or woman that once the dust settles and they reconcile with their wife, then now, of course, he gonna stay with his wife and not you. Of course, she's gonna stay with her husband and not pick you. And so if I was a single person in this equation, would I entertain a married woman or man even though they were separated? Hell no. Okay, hell no. All right. Listen, Regina, I know you said, can we move on to another question, please? Regina, I love you, but I'm gonna block you from my lives. Let me tell you this, ladies. I do this podcast, but I'm not shucking and jiving for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up here dancing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, if y'all were paying me to watch this live, I'd move on. I'd care about you wanting me to move on to different topics whenever you want me to move on to different topics. But when someone asks me a question and I'm interested in the question and I take my time answering that question, do not be disrespectful to that person that asked me a question. That person could have been waiting 6 months every time I'm on live asking questions, and I never once got to their question. This time I got to their question, and I don't want to be rushed by anybody. Okay. Now, if y'all was paying me, okay, we'd have a different discussion. Okay. If y'all was paying me watching this, we'd have a different ass discussion. But please, I'm not shucking and jiving and dancing for nobody. I take whatever time I want to answer a question if I'm interested. Every time I get on this live, I get asked the same damn questions. So if someone asks me a question I ain't never been asked before, and I want to take my time pondering that question, that's what I'm going to do. Okay? This ain't Burger King. Now, if you tip me, if you hit the Cash App and you hit the Cash App, send me $50 and say move on to the next question, I'll move on to the next motherfucking question. Okay? My Cash App is Ace Metaphor Poetry. Ace Metaphor Poetry. If you want me to move on to the next question, Cash App me $50 and I'll move the fuck on. Other than that, enjoy the free show. Please. All right? I love you guys. Well, I mean, why do y'all do that to me? Let's go to the next question. I said all that to say this. Um, man, ooh, it's some good questions. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Did it not come up? Damn, hold on 1 second. Oh no. Maybe it didn't come up. Hold on. Let me try one more time. All right. All right. The question is, what's the most bodies a lady should have by 30? Ah, shit. Okay. Somebody asks, what's the best? Y'all ain't hitting the cash app, is y'all? See, I thought so. Hey, listen, I'm gonna look at the camera. Ain't nobody hit my cash app yet. Let me see. Ain't nobody hit the cash app. Boy, it'd be a lot of people with opinions on how fast or how slow I should go with this show, but ain't nobody hit the cash app yet. I just want to make it known. I'm making known. No, I'm just playing with y'all. Anywho, the question is, what's the most bodies a lady should have by 30? All right, before I answer this question, ladies, if you were dating a man and you asked what's his body count, at what number do you feel uncomfortable? If it's over a certain amount, at what's the number you feel uncomfortable? If you did, not saying you would, but if you asked a man, what's your body count? At what number would you feel uncomfortable? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Ooh, I want to know. Um, that's a good question. That's a good question. Somebody said 25. Somebody said 20. Somebody said 8, 10, over 20, 10. Somebody said 100. I think that's reasonable. 30, 50, 50. Are we talking about, when we talking about sex, are we talking about full sex or are we talking about bases? What if you only got the third base? Do we count that? If you get, hey, ladies, if you give a dude head, does that count as a body? I want to know this, ladies. If you give a man head, is that a body? That's not a body, right? I need to know before we get to. I want to know, is that a body or is that not a body? I don't know. Maybe it's a body, maybe it's not a body. I'm not sure. Um, some somebody said no, that's not a body. Somebody said yes, that is a body. Somebody said yes, so it's 2-1. It's 3-1. So it's 3-2. So 3-2. Oh, it's 4-2. Dang. So head is a body. It is. So 5. That's 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. Come on with the nose. I need the nose. Come on with the nose. Let's get some more nose here. All right. Here's my opinion. Somebody said yes, head is a part of the body. All right. So okay, here's my opinion. This is tough. This is real tough. Oh. I personally don't care. So I don't ask because I don't care. I don't feel like it's none of my business. I think when you get into this conversation, you're more concerned about how many children a person has or what type of uncurable STDs they have. So a lot of us are judgmental. And I'll be honest with you. I think a high body count is better than a high kids count. And y'all about to see, this is how I'm about to lose some followers. I would say, for me, to answer your question, it is not a matter of how many men she's had sex with. It's probably how many men she's had children with, or how many children do she have. Or if she has an uncurable STD, that I'm not that committed to you enough to risk myself to exposure. I mean, I love you, but I don't want to be working around, with herpes because I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just be honest with you. But the actual number, as long as it didn't produce children, I don't really have a problem with. But if I had to put a guess on it, I would say for a woman, anything less than mine. Anything less than my number, okay? Anything less than my number, I'd be kind of happy with. Now, if you was out fucking me, like if you out fucked me, then I don't know, because I did a lot of fucking. That mean we both hoes. Like if you got more bodies than me, we both was hoeing out here. Which I mean, I can't be mad at. Because here's the thing, I was fast out here in these streets, but I don't have no kids. So it's like, you can't really judge it because it's not like, I mean, I'm be honest, y'all gonna hate me for this, but it ain't like I was irresponsible with the dick. I wasn't going around having child after child after child. And I think that's more of a factor than the actual body count. So a lot of women be like, well, I only got 8 bodies. Well, you got 2 kids. So, I mean, what the fuck? And then dudes be the same way. Well, I only got 15 bodies, nigga. You got 7 kids though. So I think it really becomes what was the, and I use this word not in just a negative connotation, but I use it in a matter of fact way. What was the consequence of your bodies? Like, did it produce STIs? Did it produce children? Did it produce, an addiction? And if though the answer to those questions is no, I don't care as much. All right. Yeah, you know what I mean? All right. To answer your question, and I'm gonna move on before I have to block another person, because I know people might, why you answering this question so long? Uh-oh. What the hell? Okay, hold on. What is this? Y'all on 10 today. Y'all are on 10 with these questions. Okay. Somebody asked, are women, should that number be shared, or is the level of responsibility and safety? I don't think it should be shared. Personally, I would never ask a woman how many men have she slept with. I would figure that it's multiple. You know what I'm saying? I would figure that. But I kid you not, I'm more concerned about number of children or STIs than I am about a body count. So I don't even think about that. Now I do think about how many children you have. So how many children you have? 0? Yeah, 0? Oh shit. 1? You start 2? 3? Ooh. And then when you get the 3 on the kids, ladies, I know, like I said, y'all about to get, y'all do the same thing with men though, so I don't feel bad. When you start to get the 3, you be like, so how many baby daddies? 3? I'm like, ooh, you fertile. I don't know, boy, you fertile. Ooh, I don't know. Oh no. No, but you can say 50 bodies to me and I won't think twice about it. How many men you been with? 50? Like, okay. You was doing a little hoeing, but that's it. It is what it is. And I mean that in just a joke. I don't think if you got 50 bodies, that don't mean you was hoeing out here. It just mean you got around a little bit. I got around a little bit. We got around a little bit. We grown now. It is what it is. You done had your healthy dose of dick in your life. I mean, that's the only thing I would say. If you like, man, I got 50 bodies, I'd be like, man, you just had a healthy dose of dick. It is what it is. All right, so why do men hide their bisexuality when it's women out here that like that? Okay. All right, let me read that one more time. Why do men hide their bisexuality when it's women out here that like that? Okay, I'm gonna tread lightly because I'm not trying to get canceled today. Okay, y'all trying to cancel me. I don't care too much about this podcast to get canceled. Okay, so I'm gonna tread lightly. Yeah, I just don't care about, I don't want to get canceled. But I will say this. I do think that there are a handful of men who are down low. And that down low can be either your homosexual, but you put on the facade of being heterosexual because it is there is straight privilege. When you're straight, you don't have to necessarily deal with the ridicule and the the backlash from your family and your friends, and especially as a man, you tend to be um emasculated by people. It's like being bisexual or homosexual makes you less than a man, and there's a lot of pressure from men to not have that stigma. And so I do think coming out for certain men is difficult, especially if you have friends that are men, your best friends you grew up with, and inside the Black community. So I do think that there is a lot of pressures. I don't think men don't come out. And then I will say this: as homophobic as Black men are, Black women are as homophobic when it comes to men that they are in relationships with. I do feel like there are Black women that will have a best friend that's gay, but you don't have any romantic feelings for him. So you support gay men or bisexual men that are not your partner. You know what I'm saying? But I've done these podcasts and I've done enough shows where I ask questions about, could you be in a relationship with a man who wants to share a same sex experience with you? And a lot of women would say no. So it's not just the men who have that. And I don't want to go as far as say homophobia. I would just say your preference. Again, I don't want to get canceled today, so let me not get canceled. But I'm just saying, so it just as men can stigma that bisexuality, women do the same thing. You might be like, I don't want to be having sex with a man who I would think would prefer a man having sex with him. And I've heard this. And the reason I've heard this because we just recorded a podcast session 2 weeks ago, and I asked a panel of women, and all the women was like, no, I could not be with a man who has been with a man before or thinks about being with a man before. That's not the type of man I would want to be with. And they all would say, there's nothing wrong with that man. That's just not a man I would be with. So when you say, well, why is it difficult for men, especially Black men, to, if they're homosexual or bisexual, to be open with it? Because you get it from both sides. And I would imagine how difficult it is to be a bisexual man, because it's like you want to date straight Black women, but they not that. I mean, ladies, maybe y'all can speak for me. It's like straight Black women ain't going for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult. So for me, I think, to answer your question, and we would have to get somebody on that is bisexual or homosexual, because I can't speak for a community that, I'm an ally, you know what I'm saying? I'm an ally, but I just can't, I haven't dealt with it because I'm not that, but I've dealt with straight men and straight women, friends, and I've listened to their opinions. And again, there's a lot of homophobia in the Black community. And I don't think it's intentional. Some of it is malice and intentional, but I just think it's just a thing. It's a thing. It's deeply rooted in our religious beliefs that crosses over to just stigma that we have and uncomfortableness with it. I always say this: I feel like men can only enjoy sexuality, especially Black men, in a box. Men's sexuality inside the Black community is normally boxed in a lot. And so when you're outside of that box, even if you're not attracted to the same sex as a Black man, certain sexual acts, if you told your boys about, they call you gay. If you want your girl to stick something somewhere, they'd be like, ugh, that's gay. And as Black men, this is something you hear a lot. So I can just understand why it would be difficult to come out, period, as a woman, as a man, but definitely a Black man. I just know it's probably a certain level of difficulty associated there. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully I ain't get canceled. Don't cancel me. Okay. If I said something wrong, just jump in my inbox and educate me. Okay. Don't cancel me. First of all, I ain't taking no more questions like that. So I'm sure I didn't get canceled today. All right, cool. That's a tough question, though. That's a tough question. Next question. Let's see. Uh, uh, uh. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, I got one. I got the last question. Um. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of questions on here. I my bad if I'm missing the comments, you guys. If you want to ask me a question on Instagram, please go to the question link. There's a question link right there that you can hit. It's a question. It's like a question circle. I got one more question I'm gonna get to. Well, maybe two. Um, let's see. My kid's dad does everything to be the man in my life, but when I ask him about being together, he shuts down. What do I do? Um, Again, that's a very tricky question. It's a very tricky question. Um, because I believe that the focus should be the children and not you all. I would hate that you all trying to rekindle something that shouldn't be rekindled negatively affects the children. All right. I just would hate for that to be the case. If you love this man and he loves you, but you all both love your children, sometimes you got to be like, we can't entertain being in a relationship because when we were together, we had rockiness and toxic, and all we should focus on is being a great parent to our child that we share. We can have an amicable relationship. Shit, we can even be halfway friendly. But I have to remember you're ex and I'm an ex, and the only reason we're talking right now is because we share a child. If we didn't share a child, maybe we wouldn't even be talking right now. So I want you guys to remember that because sometimes our selfish desires are the reason we push people away from their kids. Both men, well, men, 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 sometimes it's like, and this is the one thing I hate. And ladies, again, correct me in my inbox if I'm wrong, but I didn't cheat on you and the kids. I cheated on you. Don't like, how you gonna cheat on us? No, I cheated on you. You know, I'm not great for you. I hurt you. I can be a bad husband and a great dad. I can be a bad boyfriend and a great dad. And we got to quit grouping those together. Just because I hurt Joe feelings don't mean I'm not going to be there for my son or my daughter. And that's the thing I hate. And ladies, I'm not sitting here trying to act like only you do it, because I know men probably do it as well, but I hurt you and I feel bad about that. But don't be grouping. We're leaving. Like we're leaving. We don't want to talk to you. We just because we, like, you and I failed don't mean it has to negative. Don't mean you can necessarily group my child in your disappointment for me. And I think we have to be grown up to understand that just because a relationship fails between us as parents don't mean I automatically a bad parent to my child. I'm just a horrible husband to you. I don't want to be with you no more. That don't mean I'm leaving my child. I can, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't get that logic. So ladies, if I'm speaking off base right now and you've personally experienced that, inbox me. But that's the biggest thing I don't like. And I feel like that leads to children a lot of times being, not a lot of times, but a handful of times being used as a weapon inside of a breakup. You know what I'm saying? And it does cause disdain on both sides. Both of us are now being petty because we're upset with each other. Now we want to be petty using our child as a token to get a reaction from our partner. Nigga, your relationship with that person didn't work. That don't mean that person isn't a good mom and the other person isn't a great dad. And sometimes we got to realize that and try to preserve the relationship, the co-parenting relationship. But no, because you so salty this person don't want to be with you no more. Now we got to make which is what all the we shit. You keep we are hurt. You did this to us. Nigga, the kid is 2. He don't even know what the fuck is going on. We so hurt you. How you gonna cheat on us? I cheated on you. I mean, that's fucked up, but I cheated on you. How you gonna be like, you cheated on no, you. I still want to be a great dad to my son, and vice versa. I think it's hard to say vice versa because I don't want to minimize the frustration that a lot of men have with this. Because here's the thing. Ladies, you can cheat on your man, but you still gonna see your child whenever you want to, and you're gonna have custody of that child. You don't want to be with your man no more, that child staying with you regardless. You make a mistake towards your boyfriend or your husband, it ain't never, you hurt us, we leaving. He ain't leaving with that child. But oh, I tell you, let that man hurt you. Oh man, that man losing his kid too. It's a double thing I don't like. Now I know there's a lot of upside to being men. So it's hard to complain about the few things that don't go our way. Men, we get paid more to do the same jobs. Men, inherently, we are born stronger, bigger. We're less prone to random sexual assault. And we don't have to walk at night fearing for our chastity. So there's a lot of upside to being a man. But one of those downsides is you fuck up your relationship, she taking the kid too. Ladies, you fuck up your relationship, the kid's still going with you. And I think that's a lot. That's one of the things that I don't like. So that's why I try to encourage men and women. Hey, listen, if you guys break up, it's probably the healthiest thing. Focus on being great co-parents. Focus on being great co-parents. It is okay for that woman to be a horrible wife, but a great mother. It is okay for that man to be a horrible boyfriend and a fuckboy, but he is a great husband. I mean, he's a great father. And I just don't think that those two things are synonymous. Okay? But it happens a lot. Like the child becoming a pawn in this situation. Because think about it from the other side, ladies. That man, that low quality man, I'm not talking about a high quality man. I'm not talking about a man with responsibilities and morals that's going to be for his kid, regardless of what relationship he has with you. I'm talking about a low quality man. Think about a low quality man. This low quality man, though, his involvement in his child's life is predicated on your involvement with him. So men do it too. They know that you want your child to have a great father. So what they say is, in order for me to be active in my child's life, you have to be active with me. When you're not active with me, when you're not giving me what I want, I'm not going to show up for my child. People got to stop using children as pawns. Both men and women do it. Men do it in a fucked up way. Women do it too, a little bit. I don't know. I mean, shit. I don't know which one is worse. I ain't got no kids, so I ain't never experienced none of it. But I just want to leave with this. I'm gonna stick the landing with this. Focus on being co-parents. Focus on having an amicable relationship so that you both can be the best parents to that child you can be. Because that child didn't ask to be born in your bullshit and your dysfunction and your unhealthiness. Your child didn't ask to be born like this. So what you guys got to do is put aside whatever drama and problems you have with each other and focus on being a great parent to that child. All right. Somebody says, so you do hurt your kids if you cheat on one another. That's not what I mean. I want to clean this up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though, I'm not, no. I'm saying I hurt you. I cheated on you. Don't be bringing our kids into this. Okay? Because a lot of times what happens, you're upset at daddy and what daddy did. Now you're talking shit to the kid and you're trying to get your kid to side with you. Especially if your kid is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Daddy just, because daddy is this and daddy. And then you are now you bringing kids into grown folks' business. And now you're making kids choose sides. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like it. Now, if you guys want to do that and this is how you want to run your household, cool. Cool. But mommy and daddy's relationship didn't work out. We're not going to be living in the same household because we're breaking up. That's going to have some effects on that kid, obviously. But to act like this was an intentional towards that kid is to me placing unnecessary like blame here. Even if I fucked you over, you should want to encourage my healthy relationship with the child we share. Even if you fuck me over personally, I'm going to encourage a healthy relationship with the child we share. And I'm not going to make it seem like your mistake towards me was a mistake towards our child. Listen, the one thing I'm sure of is as long as people are getting married, there will always be mistakes. You think you're going to get married to somebody, you're going to be with this person, you're going to have children with this person, and you only think good things are going to happen inside that relationship. You don't think there's going to be any trials, any tribulations. You don't think one person may not fall to infidelity in 50 years. You don't think there's going to be a time when someone falls off their game, lose their job. You don't think that there's not going to be a period of neglect, a period of I don't want this no more, and people acting like that in 50 years. I think we have this rose tinted glasses like perspective of marriage, and we don't think mistakes happen. And you can call them if you it ain't a mistake, Ace. It ain't a mistake, Ace. Whatever. I'm just saying there's going to be poor choices made in a span of 50 years. And I just don't like the fact that if I make a poor choice in this relationship, or you make a poor choice in this relationship, that I'm making it seem like you're making a choice against your family and you're a horrible father because you made this choice to cheat, or you're a horrible mother because you made this choice. No, you're a horrible wife. You're a horrible husband. I'm breaking up with you if that's what you choose to do. However, let's talk about how we can still be great parents to our child. And that is not what's happening, because people are so hurt from whatever the relationship is happening that they want that child to be on their side. And I'm going to be honest with you, most times, because the child goes with the mother, the child is automatically on that mother's side, even if the mother is the person that did the wrongdoing towards the husband. And let me say this to you. Here's the caveat, and I want everybody to hear this, and I'm going to say this loudly. You know, lesbian couples get divorced too, right? You do know lesbian couples deal with infidelity as well, right? A relationship devoid of a man still be ending in divorce sometimes, right? There is this belief that when something goes wrong, it is always because of the man. Always. And if that was the case, I want you guys to use your logic. I want you to follow me here. If this was the case, why do lesbian relationships end in divorce as well? At pretty even keel rates as heterosexual relationship. Why is there still abuse? Why is there still cheating and infidelity in these relationships that's devoid of men? The reason because is before you are a man or a woman, you are a person. And people do people shit. People do people shit. And I think that there is this thought process that we have to villainize all men. And I know I get on here and I don't help because I be talking to you all about bullshit guys, but a lot of people like paint it for all guys. And I don't think it's all guys. I think just as convicted as you are about the problems you endure for men, I feel like men are as convicted with the problems they deal from women. And I feel like both parties have valid points. If it was all men's fault, then two women getting in a relationship together should work without a doubt every single time. But it doesn't. It doesn't. Let me tell you this, man or woman, you stay with somebody long enough, they're going to irritate the fuck out of you. here and there. I'm not talking about all the time. I mean, you stay with somebody long enough, they gonna hurt your feelings. You know, they gonna disappoint you. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? I think it become worse when it's a man to do it to you because you've been taught all your life that men are shit. So when a man makes a mistake, it's like, oh, I knew it. These men are shit. But I guarantee if you started dating women, you'd encounter very similar problems. I kid you not. All right. Anywho, I love you guys. YouTube, thank you. I just gave you this fresh, hot hour of content. I'm about to make some reels for my Instagram. I'm gonna do that tonight. Try to make 5 of them. I'm trying to pregame my content, you guys. Pregame my content. Do more podcasts. I'm gonna try to be disciplined enough to do a live. I might not go an hour a day. I'm gonna probably cap myself to 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes of lives a day. Cool. All right, I love you guys. Instagram, y'all can stay right there. Peace out, YouTube and Spotify. Love you guys.